but a sudden family emergency had forced her to stay behind. Undeterred by the change of plans, Yi Jian decided to proceed with the trip alone. He was excited but nervous as he set out from Logan Pass, the starting point of his journey. The park rangers had warned him about the dangers of hiking alone, but Yi Jian was confident in his abilities. He had carefully prepared himself for the trip, packing all the necessary gear and supplies and leaving a detailed itinerary with the rangers. His route would take him through some of the park's most rugged and remote areas. The first leg of the journey led him into Floral Park, a breathtaking landscape of meadows and wildflowers. But beyond the park lay dangerous terrain, steep slopes, and rocky outcrops. As Yi Jian went deeper into the wilderness, he encountered challenges that tested his bravery. The days were long and hard, with steep climbs and unpredictable weather. However, he continued with all he could, driven by a sense of adventure and a desire to experience the beauty of the natural world. However, as the days passed and Yi Jian failed to return as planned, his family grew increasingly worried. They contacted the park officials, who launched a massive search and rescue operation. Helicopters buzzed overhead, scouring the landscape for any sign of the missing hiker, while ground teams combed through the wilderness on foot. Despite their efforts, Yi Jian remained hidden. Weeks turned into months, and still no trace. His family clung to hope, praying for his safe return. But as time went on, their optimism faded away. Then, in July 2011, a discovery was made. A father and son, exploring near Avalanche Lake, stumbled upon a startling discovery. Remnants of Yi Jian's gear and clothing scattered amongst the rocks. It was a bittersweet moment, bringing both closure and heartache to his loved ones. Further investigation led to the recovery of bone fragments, which were later confirmed to be Yi Jian's remains. The news shocked his community, reigniting speculation about what had happened to him during those terrifying days in the wilderness alone. Theories abounded, with some speculating that Yi Jian had fallen victim to the harsh conditions of the park, while others believed he may have encountered dangerous wildlife. Yet amidst the speculation and conjecture, one question remained unanswered.
In today's episode, we go over some of the most gruesome shark attacks told on the channel so far. From a man being bitten in half by a great white shark in front of his friends, to a man devoured in shallow water while peeing. These are some of the worst shark attacks you will ever hear. Hit that like button and subscribe right now. Welcome to Final Affliction. Jurien Bay is a coastal town about 275 kilometers from Perth, located in Western Australia. It is considered to be a family favorite, with great swimming opportunities and beautiful crystal-clear beaches. It's a popular fishing spot, with many species readily available, such as herring and various shark species. Aside from those who enjoy the sport, there's plenty of fresh fish available for those who enjoy eating it without having to catch it first. Amazing restaurants offering hundreds of different styles of cooking. The area is also well known for its Australian sea lions, which are classified as endangered as the population continues to decrease over time. Since Jurien Bay is home to around 21% of the total population of this animal, many people come to visit for a chance to catch a glimpse of them before it's too late. With such a dense population of sea lions in one area, predators are always nearby. The locals know to be careful when entering these waters if they want to make it out alive. On August 19, 1967, Robert Bartle and his friend Lee Warner were preparing their dive at Jurien Bay. They were both in their 20s and were very experienced divers and spearfishers who enjoyed being in the ocean as much as possible. Early in the morning that day, the sea was particularly cool, with a slight swell that seemed even more inviting. The problem with this swell is that it dragged up a lot of sand and silt from the ocean floor, significantly reducing the visibility underwater. There were already other divers in the water by the time they arrived, and many people were practicing for a spearfishing competition that would take place in the next month. They quickly got ready, changing into black neoprene suits and grabbing their single rubber spear guns, ready to see what they could find under the waves. Unfortunately for them, they would find much more than they bargained for, and only one of them would leave the water that day. Using floats, they were towed out into the deeper waters until they were about 700 meters away from the shore. They could see that the sea floor was barren beneath them until they spotted some limestone ledges, which encouraged them to begin their dive. They knew that this environment was favored by large jewfish and were likely to make a decent catch if they went a little deeper. Lee initially remained on the surface to make sure everything was safe.
Camping is a fun way to be outside and enjoy nature. But sometimes it's not all fun and games. Just like nature itself, it may be beautiful, but there are inherent dangers within. From unpredictable weather to wild animals and tricky terrain, campers can face many challenges. But what if these dangers are just the beginning? This collection of short stories explores the mysterious disappearances of people who encountered these risks while camping. They vanished without a trace, leaving families, loved ones, and investigators baffled and grasping in the dark. On June 14, 1969, the Martin family, made up of William, his wife, and their two boys, Dennis and his older brother, set out for a camping trip in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. They were looking to escape the city's hustle and find some peace in nature. They pitched their tents in Spence Field, surrounded by lush greenery, and their voices filled the tranquil surroundings with laughter and conversation. As the afternoon crept in, Dennis and his older brother found themselves engrossed in a game of hide-and-seek with two other boys from the camp. It all started innocently enough. Little did they know, this simple game was about to take a terrifying turn. Around 4:30 p.m., Dennis and his brother teamed up with the two other boys for some fun. William Martin watched as the kids huddled together, plotting a prank to surprise the adults. With a mischievous grin, they disappeared into the forest, Dennis's bright red shirt contrasting against the green backdrop. When the older boys reappeared, bursting into laughter, Dennis was conspicuously absent. Concern etched across his face, William began calling out for Dennis but received no response. Meanwhile, about 7 miles away, Harold Key and his family were taking a leisurely hike near Sea Branch, southwest of Cades Cove. Their peaceful outing took a chilling turn when a scream pierced the quiet forest. Startled, they scanned the surroundings, their hearts racing with unease as they glimpsed a shadowy figure darting among the trees. During that time, the Martin family and the other family that was with them started looking for Dennis. As the hours slipped by and darkness descended upon Spence Field, the search efforts intensified, drawing the attention of park rangers and concerned volunteers alike. With a heavy heart, William Martin reported his son's disappearance to park officials at Cades Cove around 8:30 p.m. His voice trembled with fear as he pleaded for assistance in finding his missing child. As the evening progressed, a thunderstorm swept through the mountains and pounded the campsite with rain and wind. Despite the worsening weather conditions, search operations continued tirelessly into the night, with the family and searchers frantically scanning the area for the missing boy. On June 15, 1969, as the first light of dawn broke, the group of searchers gathered at Boat Mountain Road to discuss the search plans for the day. Despite their exhaustion, they were ready to face another day of relentless searching. By 5 a.m., they had spread out across the rugged terrain as they combed every inch of the wilderness in hopes of finding any clue that could lead them to Dennis. As the hours passed, the search party grew to over 240 individuals. Among them were local Boy Scouts, park rangers in training, and concerned volunteers, all united in their mission to bring Dennis home. In the days that followed, hope began to fade as Dennis remained missing, leaving his fate uncertain and giving rise to speculation. False leads and fleeting sightings only added to the distress felt by his family and the community. It was during this time that various theories and speculations surrounding his disappearance began to surface. Three main theories emerged regarding Dennis's disappearance. The first, considered most probable by park officials, suggested that Dennis became lost and was unable to survive in the wilderness. The second theory proposed that Dennis may have been attacked by a bear, or less likely a wild pig, and carried off. The third theory, supported by Dennis's father, suggested that someone may have abducted him from the park. On the day Dennis went missing, tourist Harold Key and his family reported hearing a scream and seeing a rough-looking man running away. However, park rangers and the FBI were unable to find sufficient evidence to link this sighting with Dennis's disappearance. Amid speculations, the search for Dennis continued. On the 3rd of July, the search party encountered a troubling scent of decay along the West Prong, prompting concern among members. Despite thorough investigation, the source of the odor remained unidentified, adding to the complexities of the search. Despite extensive efforts and a $5,000 reward from the family for any information about Dennis, the search did not yield any new leads. Consequently, park officials decided to end the search for Dennis Martin on September 11th. In 1985, a potential breakthrough emerged when a ginseng hunter claimed to have discovered a child's skeletal remains 3 miles downhill from Dennis's last known location. Despite extensive search efforts, searchers were unable to locate the reported remains. The mystery surrounding Dennis Martin's disappearance remains unsolved, despite the significant effort invested in finding him. During the summer of 2015, the Kunz family set out on what appeared to be a simple camping excursion to Timber Creek Campground, tucked away in the remote wilderness of Idaho. However, what began as a seemingly routine adventure soon transformed into a complex web of mysteries, shrouded in uncertainty and suspicion. Tucked away in the wilderness near Leadore, Idaho, was Timber Creek Campground, offering a tranquil retreat from the chaos of modern life. It was here that the Kunz family set out on a camping excursion that would soon take an unexpected turn. Accompanying the journey were Vernal Kunz and Jessica Mitchell. Along with their energetic 2-year-old Dior Kunz Jr. joining them were Jessica's grandfather, Bob Walton, a lively elder, and Isaac Reinwand, a mysterious figure whose presence brought an air of mystery to their expedition. On the evening of July 9th, 2015, the Kunz family packed up their truck and headed out for their camping trip. They met up with Bob Walton and Isaac Reinwand along the way, driving through rough terrain as the sun went down. They stopped for diesel, tried to grab dinner in Leadore but couldn't, and ended up quickly grabbing snacks at a convenience store before finally reaching the campground in the dark. Dior assisted his parents in setting up the campsite and building a fire before the family retired for the night. The following morning, the group enjoyed leisure time at the campground. It was also during this time that Jessica asked the grandfather, Walton, to watch over the 2-year-old as she and Vernal walked around the campgrounds. This was the last time Dior was seen. At around 2 p.m., while Vernal and Jessica were out fishing with Isaac, the couple realized Dior was nowhere to be found. Panic ensued as the campers scoured the campground in a frantic search for their missing son. Vernal called 911 at 2:22 p.m., followed by Jessica at 2:26 p.m., and the sheriff's office received a call at 2:28 p.m. It wasn't until 3:45 p.m. that the search and rescue team arrived. An immediate search effort on the campgrounds in the wilderness was conducted by the family and the authorities, hoping to find clues to the whereabouts of the missing boy. For 2 weeks, teams scoured the area meticulously, utilizing various resources such as ATVs, helicopters, horses, K-9 units, and drones. Despite their exhaustive efforts, no sign of Dior or even clues were found. In a surprising turn of events, the Lemhi County Sheriff's Office announced in January 2016 that Vernal Kunz and Jessica Mitchell were being named as suspects in the disappearance of their son. The revelation came amidst mounting inconsistencies in the accounts provided by the couple. according to private investigator Philip Klein, who had been enlisted by the family to aid in the investigation. Both Vernal and Jessica underwent multiple polygraph tests, yielding troubling results. Vernal reportedly failed 5 polygraph tests, while Jessica failed 4. These failures raised significant doubts about the veracity of their statements regarding the events leading up to Deorr's disappearance. Several theories surfaced regarding the fate of the missing child. Klein voiced his suspicion that Deorr might have been the victim of foul play, whether by accident or design. Klein even alleged that Jessica held vital information regarding Deorr's whereabouts, but opted to keep it concealed, thereby making it nearly impossible to solve the case. Raising further suspicion, when the couple faced eviction for unpaid rent in 2016, some of their abandoned belongings appeared to be linked to their missing child, including Deorr's camouflage jacket, which he had allegedly worn when he disappeared. Despite these concerning details, the mystery surrounding Deorr Kunz Jr.'s disappearance remains unsolved. No arrests or charges have been made in connection with the case. Vernal Kunz and Jessica Mitchell separated in 2016, with Mitchell remarrying thereafter. Both individuals continue to assert their innocence, denying any involvement in Deorr's disappearance and claiming ignorance regarding his whereabouts. On Labor Day weekend of 1975, the Newton family from Manchester, Maine, was vacationing at the Natanis Point campground in the deep woods of the Chain of Ponds Township, closer to the Canadian border. It was a routine camp, and nobody expected it to be the prelude to one of the largest search and rescue operations the state of Maine would ever see. In the morning of September 1st, 1975, Ron Newton set out to get firewood. He hopped into his pickup truck and headed north on one of several dirt roads that forked around the campsites. Kurt, hating to see his father leave even for a moment, grabbed his tricycle and headed up the dirt road after him. Soon he lost sight of the truck, but he kept pedaling. A young woman from an adjacent campsite, 13-year-old Lou Ellen Hansen, saw the little boy furiously paddling up the road and called after him. Jack Hansen, the campground caretaker, and father to Lou Ellen, who had been the last to see Kurt Newton alive, drove along the same dirt road not long after Kurt had taken off. He saw the abandoned tricycle close to the dump, an area of discarded trash piled at the end of the road. Assuming it must have been discarded, he tossed it onto the trash heap. Meanwhile, back at their campsite, Jill Newton had lost sight of her little boy while she was washing mud off the kid's sneakers. She asked a few of the neighboring campers if they'd seen Kurt on his bike, and as she was chatting with them, Ron came back. Kurt wasn't with him, he never had been. When the couple ran into Jack Hansen and asked if he'd seen their little boy and his red tricycle, the groundskeeper's reaction must have given them a horrible feeling. Jack had seen the tricycle, yes, but no sign of the boy. He took them to the trash heap, and there was the discarded tricycle. Kurt was nowhere to be seen. The search for Kurt began with initial efforts from the Newton family and other campers, leading to the largest organized search in Maine's history. The local game warden utilized a helicopter equipped with a loudspeaker in hopes of locating Kurt in the woods. During the search, Jill, overhearing volunteers discuss specialized planes used in Vietnam, requested similar aircraft for the search. These planes, capable of detecting heat differentials from great heights, were deemed essential. The state swiftly arranged for a plane to be dispatched from Florida, enhancing search efforts. Over several days, the helicopter continued circling above as Jill Newton and a few friends ventured into the woods. Near Kurt's last known location, they discovered a large hole resembling a child-friendly hiding spot. Jill began digging, with others joining in, but there was no sign of Kurt. On Friday, September 12th, the search ended. Over 3,000 volunteers had scoured the woods to look for Kurt in more than 10 days since he had ridden off on his tricycle. Though the efforts were exhaustive, the greatest the state had ever seen, they turned up nothing. People started speculating about what might have happened. The police thought Kurt might have gotten lost while trying to find his way back to the campsite and ended up going in the wrong direction. With temperatures dropping below freezing at night, there were worries about whether Kurt could survive without proper shelter. On the other hand, Kurt's parents thought he might have been kidnapped and taken across the Canadian border into Quebec. To explore this possibility, they put up missing child posters in Quebec, especially in French. hoping to reach anyone who might have seen him. But despite their efforts, they didn't find any solid leads or answers. The disappearance of Kurt Newton, the blonde-haired boy who vanished in the woods, remains one of Maine's most troubling unsolved mysteries. On August 20th, 2004, a seemingly ordinary family camping trip turned into a chilling mystery that continues to baffle investigators to this day. Garrett Bardsley, a 12-year-old boy from Utah, was fishing with his father at Cuburn Lake when he decided to return to their camp for a change of clothes. Despite the camp being only 250 feet away from the lake, Garrett never made it back and has never been seen since. Garrett and his father were part of a larger group, consisting of 18 other scouts and 6 or 7 adults. Garrett had managed to get his shoes, pants, and socks soaked while fishing, and he felt uncomfortable in the wet clothes. He told his father he wouldn't be long and would soon be back at the lake to try and land a fish for breakfast. The rest of their Boy Scout group were camped up the hill at the Cuburn Hash 4 campsite, a mere 250 feet away. They had walked the trail several times before, so Garrett's father, Kevin, let his son head back to camp while he continued fishing. Curiously, after 20 minutes, there was no sign of Garrett ever coming back to the lake. This made Kevin grow concerned about what was taking his son so long to return. He returned to the camp to see what had happened, only to find that Garrett was nowhere to be found in the cabin. None of the other Boy Scouts had seen him at the camp either. Panicked and confused, Kevin sounded the alarm and alerted the other individuals who were in the campsite as well as the authorities. This triggered a massive search operation involving hundreds of official and unofficial searchers. The searchers searched the area on foot, horseback, and with the aid of specially trained hounds to find any trace of Garrett. The search continued into the night on Sunday, August 21st, with the hope of finding the missing boy alive and well. However, as the days passed, those hopes faded, and the search became somber. Despite the exhaustive search, the only evidence that the searchers found was one of Garrett's Nike socks. It was discovered about half a mile from where he disappeared in a rugged granite boulder field. According to Summit County Sheriff Dave Edmonds, the sock appeared to have been taken off a wet foot and wadded up, consistent with what they knew about Garrett. After 9 days, Garrett's official search was terminated. However, the family, many devoted friends, and volunteers continued the search after the official search was done, going back at least twice a week until October. After the 2004 winter, more searches were conducted but produced no results. The case has been featured in various media outlets due to its curious and intriguing nature. Up to this day, Garrett's story continues to raise awareness about missing children and the importance of keeping them safe. We may never know what happened to Garrett, but his disappearance instigated dozens of conspiracy theories. Some speculate that he was attacked by a wild animal, possibly a mountain lion or a bear. Others believe that a stranger or a family acquaintance may have abducted Garrett. Some even suggest that he may have fallen or been injured in an accident while exploring the area and could not get help. However, no evidence exists to support any of these theories. The mysterious disappearance of Garrett Bardsley remains an unsolved case that continues to baffle investigators. As the years pass, the mystery deepens, leaving more questions than answers. Chelsea Grimm, a 32-year-old woman from San Diego, California, has been missing since September 28, 2023. She was last seen in Williams, Arizona, during a cross-country road trip. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance remain unclear, and her case is currently classified as missing. Grimm set off on her journey on September 24, 2023, intending to attend a wedding in Connecticut. Accompanying her was her pet bearded dragon, Roz or Roxy. Originally, she planned to fly to the wedding, but the airline's refusal to accommodate her pet led her to decide to drive instead. On September 27th, Grimm arrived in Phoenix, Arizona, where she met her sister and a friend. The following day, she canceled plans for lunch with the same friend. Later that day, she was seen at a motel in Seligman, attempting to book a room. Witnesses described her as disoriented when she tried to pay with euros instead of U.S. currency. Grimm contacted her parents from the motel, informing them that she would not make it to the wedding in Connecticut due to the trip taking longer than expected. She expressed her plan to camp nearby for a few days before returning to California. On September 28th, a police officer found Grimm's vehicle parked near a war memorial in Williams County, Arizona. She explained to the officer that she had become emotional after taking photographs for a lost soldier project and did not want to drive while upset. The officer suggested some safe places for her to camp, including the Love's truck stop near a gas station. On September 30th, a woodcutter spotted Grimm near Ashfork, Arizona, where she was camping in her car. She did not appear to be in distress or in need of help. Since then, there has been no contact from Grimm. On October 3rd, hunters found Grimm's white 2019 Ford Escape SUV, abandoned in the middle of Forest Service Road 6 in Kaibab National Forest, northeast of Ashfork, Arizona. The vehicle had 2 flat tires. The following day, Grimm's parents filed a missing persons report with the Phoenix Police Department when they were unable to reach her. Grimm's wallet, cell phone, sleeping bag, and bearded dragon were missing, but some clothing and a camera were left behind in her car. The car was locked and showed no signs of a struggle. There has been no activity on Grimm's phone records, bank account, or social media since her disappearance. The police found no evidence of foul play in Grimm's disappearance. The case seems to be leading to a dead end with no new leads. Despite the lack of evidence of struggle, many have shared their thoughts and theories about Chelsea's mysterious disappearance. Some believe that Chelsea Grimm was in some kind of mental health crisis due to her distressed and confused state, because as a photographer, she would not have left her camera in the car when she left. Others believe that she had met with someone and that there was a possibility of her being abducted, probably the reason of the euro bills instead of the dollar bills when she tried to pay. While others believe that the case is simply just like many others. She had her tires deflated, and outlaws used this as an opportunity to mug her or kidnap her. In response to these theories, the Grimm family took matters into their hand when they hired a private detective to assist the police in the search. But so far, these efforts have been unsuccessful. The mystery of Chelsea Grimm's disappearance continues to baffle everyone involved. As the investigation continues, her family and friends hold on to hope for her safe return.
In August of 1960, a team of geologists, led by the notable Vladimir Dovchenko, went on a daring expedition into the expansive and wild terrain of North Baikal Taiga, a mission that aimed to reveal the ancient geological mysteries hidden within the rugged landscape. The team was comprised of individuals of diverse expertise, including Nina, a highly skilled and experienced geologist whose expertise was widely acknowledged, and Nikolai Troyan, a passionate and ambitious young enthusiast eager to showcase his abilities in the field. On the cold morning of August 10th, Nina and Nikolai, carrying lots of maps, tools, and their own determination to explore something new, set out on their daily exploration. However, nature seemed to not cooperate with them, making a seemingly routine mission turn into a dangerous one. As they navigated through the dangerous terrain of the dense forest, they encountered obstacles such as the entangled foliage, slippery ground, and the daunting Temecula River, whose swift and turbulent waters posed a serious challenge. Not bothered by these challenges on their way, they still continued. However, their own fate had a different plan in store for them. The weather abruptly took a turn for the worse, with dark clouds looming ominously overhead, accompanied by howling winds, torrential rain, and swirling snowflakes that caught the geologists off guard. Even the experienced Evenki guides accompanying the team were taken aback by the sudden intensity of the storm. Despite the increasingly hostile conditions, Nina and Nikolai persisted in their pursuit of the expedition's goal, and they were really determined to know what hid beneath these geological wonders. However, as the storm intensified, communication with the base camp went weak, leaving them isolated and vulnerable amidst the unforgiving storm. Hours passed by, which eventually turned into days, and concern began to grow among their colleagues at the base camp. When Nina and Nikolai failed to return as scheduled, a search party led by Vladimir Dovchenko was swiftly assembled. The team searched the area tirelessly, their voices echoing through the wind as they called out the names of their missing comrades, hoping for a faint response to guide them in the right direction. Yet there was no response or even traces from the two, offering no clues to the whereabouts of the vanished geologist. The heavy snowfall had effortlessly covered their tracks, rendering them almost impossible to trace. The relentless search continued, carrying with them the frantic hope of discovering Nina and Nikolai alive. What seemed to be days turned eventually into months. The prolonged absence of Nina and Nikolai cast a gloomy shadow over their colleagues, who refused to give up and still hoped for a miracle to come. Various theories and speculations were made, ranging from accidental mishaps to encounters with wild animals. Yet none could provide a definitive explanation for their inexplicable disappearance. Some said that they might have succumbed to the treacherous currents of the Sinica River, while others entertained the grim possibility of a fatal encounter with a predatory beast. However, lacking tangible evidence to support these theories presented, they merely remained as unverified. With the passage of time, the mystery surrounding their vanishing deepened, giving rise to increasingly fantastical speculations. Supernatural interventions and extraterrestrial abductions entered the conversation between people who speculated, overshadowing the efforts to uncover the truth. With the swirling rumors, the undeniable fact remained. The whereabouts of Nina and Nikolai remained a mystery. Years slipped away, and the memory of the missing geologist gradually faded from the public mind. Yet for those intimately acquainted with their story, the ache of their absence lingered on, and more questions have yet to be answered with time. In the end, the inexplicable disappearance of Nina and Nikolai remains a mystery in the records of the North Baikal Taiga. The overarching question persists. What really happened on that very day? Did they meet a tragic end? Or did they go on a mysterious trip into the unknown, forever hidden from everyone? Only time can show the answers.
In the enchanting landscapes of Banff National Park in August 2023, nature unveiled its mesmerizing tapestry. The weather in this captivating region during that time was characterized by a moderate chill temperature. The air held a subtle humidity, creating a relaxed and refreshing atmosphere that added to the allure of the untamed wilderness. The picturesque setting, with lush greenery and the grandeur of the Rockies, provided an ideal backdrop for adventure. Lake Moraine, nestled in the heart of the park, glistened under the August sun, showcasing the park's diverse beauty. Against this backdrop, an old hiker embarked on his solo expedition, unaware of the sad tale that would unfold amidst the natural wonders of Banff National Park. A sad tale unfolded on the slopes near the Cascade Falls trailhead in the heart of Banff National Park, where untamed wilderness and majestic landscapes captivate every adventurer's spirit. In this vast expanse of natural beauty, a 64-year-old Calgary resident set out on a solo hiking expedition. The nature lover and avid nature enthusiast aimed to explore Banff's scenic wonders. Everything was going well when his fellow hikers felt his disappearance. He was ahead of his fellow hikers. After a while, when the other hikers did not see him anywhere, they started to worry about him. This was when the other people reported him missing. The search for the missing hiker intensified as Staff Sergeant Mike Buxton Carr and his team meticulously combed through the Banff National Park's vast area. The discovery of his car near the Banff airstrip was a critical clue, narrowing down the search area and heightening concerns for his well-being. His car was a clue that he stayed in the hiking area. The team, equipped with ground and aerial capabilities, thoroughly explored the Cascade Falls trailhead and its surroundings on August 28th. The situation's urgency echoed through the pristine wilderness as they sought to locate the overdue hiker. The unfolding events set the stage for a challenging operation, with the natural beauty of Banff National Park transforming into a backdrop fraught with suspense and concern. The heightened search effort unfolded as ground and aerial teams collaborated seamlessly, searching the vast wilderness surrounding the Cascade Falls trailhead. Aerial scans, an essential step in the search operation, meticulously guided the team through the intricate terrain. offering a glimmer of hope in the quest to find him. The Cascade Falls, known for its captivating beauty, now became a focal point in unraveling the mystery of his disappearance. As the teams moved deeper into the lush landscapes, clues began to surface, painting a complex picture of events leading to his overdue status. The synergy between law enforcement and Parks Canada's dedicated visitor safety team played a crucial role, their collective expertise converging to piece together the puzzle and determine his whereabouts. The closure of the Cascade Falls Trail and parking lot during the search added a layer of tension to the serene Banff National Park. As the public anxiously awaited updates, the once vibrant park now carried an atmosphere of concern. The closure, a necessary measure during the intensive search operation, heightened the anticipation and deepened the collective unease among park visitors. The picturesque surroundings, typically filled with the sounds of nature and joyous exploration, were now enveloped in a sad ambience. Despite the dedicated efforts of search teams and the hopeful spirit of onlookers, the revelation of the hiker's lifeless body near the trailhead cast a profound shadow over the park's natural beauty, forever intertwining the memory of this tragic event with the breathtaking landscapes of Banff National Park. After an exhaustive investigation, the RCMP determined the hiker's passing to be non-suspicious. The tranquil beauty that had initially enticed him to explore Banff National Park now bore witness to a heartbreaking conclusion. Despite the meticulous efforts to uncover the circumstances surrounding his demise, the exact cause remained elusive. The search teams and the police department stated it was just an accident. There were no hidden factors behind his death. He may fall during his hike. However, whatever the reasons were, the calmness of the surroundings transformed into a poignant backdrop for a tragic end. The hushed whispers of nature became the silent witnesses to the sorrow that lingered in the heart of Banff National Park, leaving behind an unspoken melancholy that resonated through its picturesque landscapes.
In the sprawling expanse of Grand Canyon National Park, a place known for its breathtaking vistas and treacherous cliffs, the disappearance of Charles Lyon, a 49-year-old man from Tyler, Texas, cast a shadow of mystery and concern. It was June 10, 2021, when Charles was last seen at a hotel in Tucson, a small town nestled just outside the park's boundaries. His presence there was unremarkable, blending into the throngs of tourists that passed through each day, eager to witness the natural grandeur of the canyon. Yet Charles was not just another tourist. He was a man on a solo journey, perhaps seeking solace or adventure within the vast wilderness of the Grand Canyon. The following day, June 11th, Charles's car was discovered abandoned near Lippin Point, a scenic overlook known for its panoramic views of the canyon's intricate layers and the meandering Colorado River below. This discovery prompted the National Park Service rangers to initiate a search operation. With no clue as to why Charles had ventured into the park alone or what his intentions were, the search teams combed the area, both on the ground and from the air. Helicopters buzzed over the rugged landscape, while search and rescue teams traversed the trails and backcountry, calling out for Charles, hoping for a response that never came. As the search extended to weeks, the National Park Service announced the scaling back of the operation. The initial surge of efforts to find Charles was reduced to more targeted actions, focusing on community outreach and utilizing patrols and helicopter flights during regular operations. Charles stood 6 foot 3 inches tall, weighed 177 pounds, and had brown hair and brown eyes, a description that was circulated widely in hopes that someone might have seen him or could offer new information. Yet despite the extensive search efforts and public appeals, Charles remained missing. The Grand Canyon, a marvel of nature's handiwork, has been a site of awe and inspiration for countless visitors. However, it has also been a place where over 600 people have lost their lives, succumbing to accidental falls or the harsh environmental conditions that can prevail. The mystery of Charles's disappearance added another somber note to the canyon's history, reminding us all of the respect and caution this natural wonder demands. In Tyler, Texas, Charles's absence left a void in the hearts of those who knew him. Rumors and theories abounded, with each person trying to make sense of why Charles would vanish into the depths of the Grand Canyon. Was he overwhelmed by personal demons, or was he seeking a connection with the sublime beauty of the natural world? These questions lingered unanswered as the search for him continued in a limited.
I do not tolerate cowardice.
Oh yeah, look at that. That can be rolled up and actually secured as a sleep number pillow in the woods.
Welcome to the Summoner's Rift.
Got it.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So last weekend we were at a bushcraft prepper survival bushcraft expo in Kentucky, and those that watch my channel all the time, you know that I pushed that thing. We had like 2,500 people that showed up. I bought tickets, so those that showed up and I got to meet you and take pictures, I appreciate it. One thing that was there that caught my attention was this backpack right here. And the reason why it caught my attention was because it's advertised as a bug out get home bag, bug out bag, backpack bed. Now, it's a whole lot more. For me, it's a backpack shelter. I'm going to briefly go over the features of this, but I want to get the thing put up so you can actually see what it can do. It's not meant for bushcraft and survivalists at all. They were strictly marketing it to people who are preppers, guys that want to bug in, bug out. And the thing about bugging in or bugging out, if you bug out to a location, you eventually end up bugging in at that location. So in a sense, this is a get out of Dodge, bug out bag, or a get home bag, okay? And it weighs a whopping 7 pounds. Now, whatever else you place inside of it, it can weigh 25, 30, 50 pounds. But coming in at 7 pounds for a complete shelter setup, that's an actual tent. That's not bad at all. So let's go ahead and check this bad boy out, talk about the features, and then we'll put it up in different configurations. Let's go ahead and talk about the backpack overall design. It's made by a company in Australia called Season Fort. There's 2 different types of backpack beds that are currently on the market. One is called the Untamed and has a 3-season, 200 denier nylon design. This one here is called the Expanse. It is a 4-season and is also 200 denier nylon. Without getting too in-depth and too technical, you have a total of 13 pockets around the outside, top, bottom, and on the inside as well. This one right here is an added feature. It can hold a 3-liter water bladder. On the bottom, we actually have MOLLE straps right here to add additional blankets or whatever you choose to carry. Turning this thing around, we have our 2 shoulder straps, a chest strap, carrying handle. In the very bottom, check this out, a bright orange rain fly which will add extra water protection, as well as can be used for a signal panel, so it goes over the backpack. And on the opposite side, we have a tent pole which we'll put together later, which will actually be used to prop up the front of your tent. Big disclaimer, this is not a gear loadout video. I'm not showing you what I carry when I bug out. I simply grabbed a bunch of items that I think you would need, and I threw it in there to show you how much can fit inside of this and still be room left over. Now keep in mind, there's an attached bedroll inside there, like an isomat, attached to the shelter, attached to the backpack that rolls up inside that backpack. The leftover space is anywhere from 22 to 25 liters. Now, an Alice pack is around 35 liters. The main dump pouch of an Alice pack is around 25 liters. So you can get the idea that you basically have an Alice pack inside here of open space to fill full of items. Food, IFAKs, socks, things like that, okay? So let's go ahead and take that stuff back out and open the shelter up. All the items are out, and you can see the amount of space that you have inside here. It goes all the way down here. This is your shelter right here, your tent. Now keep in mind, this is rolled up. There's also an isomat in here for the bottom, for added comfort and to keep your body off the ground. The tighter you roll this, the more space in here you're gonna have. But that right there is about 22 liters of open space. There's also pockets on the inside here as well. On this side too. Let's go ahead and unroll this on the ground. First thing you want to do here is stake this thing out. You have a tab right here. I'm going to run this to the ground. Just going to put it in just about halfway because we can adjust it later. Opposite side, and then we're going to pull it down over there and make it nice and tight. The back end, we'll pull it tight, stake it out, pull that one tight, stake it out. Now this right here is your built-in isomat. Those that served in the armed forces, say in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, you remember the foam roll-up mat. It's exactly what this is. It's a 1/2-inch isomat. It's got a reflective surface underneath here, and it is sitting on top of 600 denier nylon that's waterproof. It's got a rubber coating on it right here, so it can be thrown over the mud, or in this case, wet leaves. You have protection here, here, and then here. The inside rain fly actually goes over top of the backpack as well to keep it 100% out of the rain. And overall length, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's almost 8 feet in length, fully extended. On the top rain fly in the center, you have a Velcro pocket. Inside that Velcro pocket, you have a guy line and a grommet. We talked about a tent pole earlier. We'll get that out and I'll show it to you. You simply put the tent pole together, place it inside here, and then stake it out. Or take the guy line and tie it directly to a tree. So if you're in an open area, you have no trees, taking your tent pole, place it inside there, you have 2 guy lines, one to go that way and one to go the opposite to stake them to the ground. However, I have a tree right here, so I'm going to utilize one of these and just simply tie it to a tree. There's a built-in pole that will sit inside of a cup, be propped up like that. Another Velcro pouch, and a second guy line. It can be attached to a tree or pulled tight and staked to the ground. And lastly here, you can stake out the front. You have a guy line or just a tab right there. There you go. Down and dirty, that's it right there. It took longer for me to explain it to you than actually do this. Like I said, you don't even need trees. Stake it to the ground. You got 2 guide lines going off like this. Ground, ground, done. This is meant to go up anywhere. Having trees is always a plus. Now, one thing I'm going to address real quick, because in America, everybody has an issue with the infamous word condensation. This is a 4-season tent. And in my opinion, if it means getting dumped on or getting inside this, I don't care about condensation. I'm going to get inside this. Some people just can't do that. On the outside here, you have a large window. There's a rain flap on it right here. Everything goes down at an angle like this. So the flap is right here with it tucked underneath. So where's the water runoff going to go? Right across this and down. But simply taking the Velcro off, you now have a zippered window that you can undo here. With a nice rain flap that can be rolled up and actually secured. There's also one down here at your feet, as well as one in the front. So there's the one in the front right there. And there's the one at your foot. Like we talked about earlier, it's rubberized 600 denier nylon. And you have a tub, goes up about 2 inches. And it zips all the way across here. So you have easy access to get inside this thing, zip it back up, pull this flap back over, and then simply stake it out and then do your final zip on the front. So me being 6'1", 225, there's still more than enough room here, at least a fist from my thigh to the top of this. I can turn on my side, lay on my back, look at it, a little over 2.5 feet wide, and this is very doable. Right now, laying on that cold, wet leaves, I'm not feeling anything cold on me at all. So we've eliminated the conduction, where the body heat is wicked away from something cold touching your skin or making contact with your body. So I have no doubt in my mind, zipping this entire thing up with a blanket leaving a small opening to vent so I can breathe. I'll be warm in here all night without a fire. This is geared towards people who bug out or bugging out to a location to bug in or getting home. Now, for bushcraft and survival, I would add something like an axe sleeve. Enlarge the pockets on the sides, throw water bottles inside there, something I can get access to really quick. The backpack is rectangle for your body. Somebody wide like me, it hangs low and wide. I have no problem with that. You get a 110-pound female or a child, the width of that might be a problem. It might be better vertically, vertical rectangle. But those are all things that are geared towards different people. The market for this is pretty good. They sold like 25,000 of them to people who bug out and preppers and things like that. So the main purpose of this shelter is to stake it out into a tent. But we all know in our world, bushcraft and survival, we like tarps, A-frame, which is basically what this is. But when I see this flap, I can do a lean-to with a fire out front. I might not want to be in here trapped up where I can't see anything. I might want to lay out here. It might be too hot to button myself up in here. I do like how they made this 2-inch lip on here where you're 100% sealed inside. It means no bugs, no mosquitoes, no snakes. So we use our standard Marlin spike hitch for our stake. Yeah, so something like this, in my opinion, is a lot better. We're blocking the wind still. And with a fire out in front there, that heat's gonna come right to me. One full step away, we're gonna feel that heat all night. So, and I can look out, I can see things. If it were to rain, I got a good 18, 19 inches of tarp stick out over top of me. I'm tucked away back in here. Even the bag over here is covered. So this really isn't a problem for me. So basically we converted a bug out backpack into a bushcraft survival setup. So talk about versatile. I'm sold. So at the very beginning of this video, I showed you that this entire setup was inside this dry bag. It's one of the added bonuses that comes with the setup. That and I believe 1 or 2 small Mylar blankets. So this can be used for any number of things. The main purpose is storage. Get your setup just how you want it, place the bag over it. It can be thrown into a closet, trunk of a car, side by side. And the point is, it's waterproof and it's there when you need it. But being out here in the woods, what can I use this for? We just kicked all those leaves out of here. So for me, to be comfortable all night with my poncho liner and my shelter set up and my fire, this right here is a pillow waiting to happen. So just think of this dry bag as a sleep number pillow in the woods. The more you stuff it, the firmer it's going to be. Get about 3/4 of the way, and you can stop. And then do what a dry bag does best. Simply get it, put it together, and then roll it down. Get that air out of there if you want to. Close it down, roll it to your desired firmness, and take it, buckle it, there you go.
Your turret has been destroyed.
mystery can. I have no idea what this is. I actually did at one point, I think it's soup, but it got wet, and so I pulled the label off. Either soup or it's chili, one of the two. Or ravioli, that'd be nice. Let's find out what it is. It's my attempt to simulate the end of days. Rummaged around in an abandoned house. That's all we could find. It looks like chicken noodle soup. I'll take it. On some of these, you have a food grade lining on the inside that needs to be burned off. And to be really honest, I don't know if you can tell that by the label. Maybe you could read it, it's on there. If there's no label, you're risking it, because if you burn off that label or burn off that food grade lining and mix it with your food, guess what? You're gonna poison yourself over a long period of time. Or you can poison yourself right there. So it's not good to eat that. Some of these you can actually see them, and some you can't. This one here I can't tell. There's yellow lines that go down the seam of this can where it was fused together. This one might not have any on it or any liner, but if you don't know, you know, why risk it? Oh yeah, look at that. So while we're waiting for that soup to warm up, I'm sure some of you have seen the rifle that I was carrying in the video. And I'll address that too, because someone's gonna say it. If it's a bug out situation, where's the AR? Well, here's the thing. Been on YouTube for 14 years, and I'm smart enough to know that ARs are the evil black gun. So what I'm carrying today is an M6 Scout by TPS Arms. It's a 22 over with a 410 under. So it's 2 barrels on it, okay? Single shot. Those are not on the radar. You can get squirrels with those, rabbits. It's got a 410 shotgun on there. You have to shoot a coyote or something. Worst case, it does shoot a 410 slug, so you could take a deer down with that. It's a good game gun. It's something to have out in the woods and just, you know, get that small game. I'm never going to carry an AR on YouTube. I'm never going to show an AR on YouTube. And for those that don't like that, and they say, well, so-and-so does it, my suggestion has always been, go watch so-and-so. And at some point, you're going to hear that so-and-so got demonetized or kicked off YouTube. So I'm going to try and play by the rules. And the very fact that I brought a firearm out here, I'm risking it and risking circulation and hoping that it all works out. All right, nothing like chicken noodle soup. So here we go. It's excellent. Catch you all in a few. So here's our pillow. Go ahead and try this out right now. You know what? That's what I'm talking about. This is smoothing it, baby. And just with that fire over there, one full step away, we're actually feeling that heat right here. So we're trapping the heat like we talked about in our previous videos. So I'm happy with this configuration. And like we stated though, this is not the design intent. This happened by accident. Their design intent is to fully seal you inside here, give you windows front and back and overhead to vent condensation, keep you zipped up away from spiders, snakes, creepy crawlies, etc. But it will also perform bushcraft configurations. And I'm happy with this. So real quick here, this property is one of the school properties. I say one of because there's like 3 or 4 different properties that we're going to be bouncing between doing future classes with Buckeye Bushcraft. And I'm currently out here exploring the property, so why not do a 2-for-1 and do an overnighter so you can see what you're up against. I mean, there's cliffs everywhere, there's rocks everywhere. Once the trees start blooming, it's going to be beautiful. Creeks everywhere, streams, it's nice. So speaking of the classes, we have a modern skills survival course in April. I believe it's the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and then we have one in May. I think it's the second week of May. And they were full. We went ahead and opened it up. So there's a few more slots left. Go to my video description box and click on Buckeye Bushcraft Modern Skills Survival Course. If you're interested, check it out. The gear list is posted there and on my Amazon link in my video description box. If you click on that, will take you right to where it says Modern Skill Survival Course gear list, and wherever you don't have, go ahead and get it, and I'll see you there. So the last thing here real quick is we're going to forego the morning breakfast because it's Saturday evening and my video is due tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to pack this thing up under a headlamp, and we're going to roll out of here. And I got to drive back, and hopefully I'll get back within an hour and a half and get the editing done before 10:30. I've always making my Sunday drops, by the way. So yeah, the video will be there. On that note, 50 cup and bottle sets just dropped to my Etsy store. So once again, my video description box, Etsy store, and we got 50 Corporal's Corner cup and bottle sets. Good luck. I'm predicting 15 minutes. Let me know how it turns out. I don't want to get up. Whatever. 1 hour to get home and 2 hours to get the video out. I can do this. Man. So the beauty of this system is if you're working with a small blanket like a poncho liner or even a thin wool blanket, you can go ahead and actually leave it inside of your system, because what you're going to do here is roll it up into your backpack. That way it's there when you need it. So we'll place this inside here. We'll zip it up. And then now from here, we talked about at the very beginning, the tighter you make this, the more room you're going to have inside that backpack. Like I already mentioned, I'm not an affiliate. I'm going to dime for this. They sent me a free backpack, and I showed you what their intent was. I showed you how we could turn into what we do out in the woods, bushcraft and survival. And then I gave some constructive criticisms about the loops, as well as adding some grommets, making an axe sleeve and then a larger pocket for a water bottle. So hopefully they see this and 2.0 that bad boy. And some people, again, will find the length of it cumbersome. For a wide person like me, it's not a problem. Maybe turning the thing vertically, that might be cool too, or at least give that option. Other than that, I mean, check it out. I'll drop that link in my video description box. Again, there's a 3-season and a 4-season, and that one there was the Expanse, which is a 4-season. On that note, I'm going to end this bad boy off. All the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places: on my Amazon affiliate page and 2, my Etsy store. Both links are found inside my description box. Now please do me that favor, hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.
You would not believe from this glorious weather that we've got some heavy rain rolling in. We've got probably an hour or 2 to set up, get ready for this bad weather, but looking forward to it. This is my chosen tent today. It's one Tigris, a gastropod. Now I was going to use this on the camp with Mark. We were both going to do it because we both got one sent to us, and mine didn't arrive in time, so we used different shelters. Not too different from the Rock Fortress, but a different door system that opens up and stuff. So should be interesting. Should be good for rainy weather, and then it's a big kind of warning area. We've got our poles, and that's good, stove jack, and some nice straight pegs, heavy duty. We've got them sewn in instructions, which are always handy. Pretty much goes up the same as the Rock Fortress. There is a couple of big differences about this one, which we'll look at in a while. I believe this to be the front of the tent, so start off pegging with. At the back here you can see we've got ventilation, so I'm going to peg them out next. This is feeling pretty big, also on a bit of a slope. I'm sure I'll get over it. A couple of poles on this, and this one is the large centre pole, so we'll get that one in first. The top section of this pole is adjustable, which is going to make setting up a little easier. Just need to fettle with my pegs a bit now, just so they're nice and straight. And there's a stone now. So this saggy area you see at the back of the tent here is something they've been implementing a lot for one Tigris tents, like the conifer and that. And gives you a bit more room inside and a nice ventilation spot. Got a 2 collapsible poles, and pegged it in the pole hole when I should have pegged it on this. Did wonder. So no issue. So we go in there, and then we've got the bottom hole there. Now you could, and probably should, use one peg for both of these, but I think I've got enough pegs to do it this way. I'll check around. Not done yet. Okay, I think I'm good. All pegged. Put these guys out here. This is not perfect because of the hill. See the truck in the background there. But I think I'm okay. You can see that door open there. We've got another here. And they both go to the middle, a little similar to the Pomoli Circle 6, except this is a bigger area. It's a nice walking through area there. And you've got the area here for the stove. Or you can do what I'm about to do. So a couple of notes, I've got to undo this kind of spreader strap here. And for the guy on the end.
A server has reconnected.
Well, I've spent about 5 to 10 minutes just fettling and found out a few things. The straps unbuckle from the other side, and then you use them rather than one of the guys, so, you know, makes common sense really. And the wings, I've tied one to a tree and one to a pole down to the ground, just to open it up a little bit more, because they would be down at more of an angle otherwise. And that's a pretty big tarp, a pretty big awning in front of the tent there. Just tightened everything up at the back a bit here. So it's looking nice. And that's the ventilation flap, or flaps plural. And that's kind of my view out right now. Pretty nice. So far this is going pretty well. I can't wait to get the stove in there. Gonna do some nice cooking later. Sponsorship from HelloFresh, so they've sent over some good stuff for me to cook. It meant I didn't even have to think about what I was doing, except choose from the many menus. Right, note to self, put the stove jack in before putting the awning up. Do the side vents while the buzzards are cooing in the background. Oh, hang on a minute, there's no... I guess they just stay open. I've had to dig the stove in a little bit where it's uneven ground, but it's pretty good. May have to do the same for the bed, we'll see. This is that inflatable King Camp bed I used a little while ago. Gonna give it another try. Pretty sure, and based on comments as well, that I didn't have it inflated enough last time. So I was treating it like a normal mat where you want a little bit of give in it. With this you don't want that give or you're going to be like a banana. So let's see what we can do, or if we can even get the pressure. Nice, so yeah, let's get her inflated. This seems to be the best bit, and I'm going to inflate it with my Flex Towel Gear pump. We'll see if it's got the pressure. I don't think it's going to go any more than that. It was making a funny sound. Definitely feels firmer than last time. I'll leave it a few hours obviously, and then I'll try and put some more air in it, see if it's kind of stretched out or something. This is a new folding chair. I get through them. This one is Kamui. I found it on Amazon. I was just going through all the different ones on there because there's a lot of them now. And price to weight, this seems to be about the best. You can get ones that are, I don't know, like Trekology and others. Trekology one's probably £30 more and 100 grams lighter. So, you know, if I was walking 30 miles today, maybe, but I'll stick with this one. I think it was about 800 grams. So this is its first time out. I've not even sat on it yet. Mesh, I guess, is going to be the back. So that's going to be a bit of a weight saving with the mesh. It's also lower than some, especially lower than the Mission Mountain one I've been using recently, because that's a different style with extendable legs. But it's all about the back support. The other thing with this that I was looking for is to have them kind of non-sink things on the feet, because without them in England you're just sinking all over the place. As you have seen on most of my recent camps, me and Mark sort of sinking into the ground. Happened over at Mike's Woodland as well, just sinking. It's ever so slightly starting to dry out now, but we've got a week of rain ahead of us, starting in about an hour. Sun's already disappearing. We'll see. One reason I wanted to do this camp in this fashion is there's a few things I wanted to do and a few things I wanted to try out. One of them being this new One Tigris mat, which has got some thickness to it actually. Yeah, I've been using the same mat for so long. Good to try something else out. This pack's a little smaller than my other one, but it is a little more narrow, which is kind of more standard really. That's just going to strap in on these. Yeah. Also comes with a couple of elastic straps, pump sack, which I didn't use, and puncture repair stuff. A lot of stuff today, some stuff that I've bought and some stuff that I've been sent. One of the things I've been sent is this Quezza sleeping bag. It's a down sleeping bag with an extreme of -3. It goes up to 8 degrees C there, so kind of a free season I think. And yeah, probably the perfect weather at the moment is